Meet Eric Muller, who apparently works in career development, but is trying to tell me that he's a manager for Teddy Swims. Disregard any fan pages or accounts who add you on Hangouts, Gmail, WhatsApp. Thank you all. Communications manager at Management Center, apparently from Los Angeles. However, our little fellow here has forgotten that he's a massive fan, and I think this is our scammer here. He's a massive fan of a fashion place, and then ATK Clothing, which is also a Nigerian clothing brand, right? Do you really think that would be the only two things that an American manager who works at a career center? But anyway, here's the ongoing chat. So he messaged me in May. Hi there, Finish. Hope you're having a wonderful time. I'm a member of Teddy Swim's management team. We were given tasks to do a survey on Facebook with the most common comments, likes and tags on our client's profile. And after the survey, you emerged as one of the fans who has shown support and love for months now, to which I put a laughing emoji. I said, so you're a kid from Nigeria who's into fashion, but you scam on the side. I'm right, aren't I? You aren't good at this, so I hope you're better at scamming, little Mughal. At which point he'd seen it and he'd gone away and got back this morning. And just for, some kind of idea, it's now the 16th of June. Mughal? Came the indignant response. I said, why are you back? Yeah, because I didn't get your last message, even though I could see that he'd seen it. A kid from Nigeria, he tries to say. I said, sure. Too busy hustling, I see. You forgot a few details in your profile which show where you're from, mate. Into fashion? I said, yup. You're not good at hustling. And you aren't affiliated to anyone famous either. Everyone knows who works for Teddy, and mate, it isn't you. Excuse me? He said. I said, your profile is the messiest one I've seen in a minute. It's a little sad. And in response to excuse me, I said, you're not excused. You want to prove yourself? Show me that accent. I bet you won't. You're the Mughal, whatever that means, okay? I said, because we know you aren't American, no matter how much you wish you were. And then I laughed and said, triggered. Ha, crazy, he said. I said, no clients, no remittance, not surprised. And, go away, you're not smart enough for this. How about you screenshot and show me where you saw that I'm a kid from Nigeria and into fashion, and then I'd know you're not delusional. I feel sorry for you, actually, says our scammer who did not check his own profile. Then he went on to say, reported your account for misconduct. I said, why on earth would I ever show you where you messed up? I needed to stay to warn people about you. And go for it about reporting my account. Now I'm going to have you blocked, he said. And in response for misconduct, I said, go for it. Ditto. Bye, he said. I said, go for it. In response to, I'm going to have you blocked. And in response to bye, I said, cluck. You really are delusional then. To which I responded, scammer is freaking out that he messed up his account and everyone will know he's hustling. And in response to go for it, ditto, he goes, done. He adds, maniacally like it's a villain origin story, to which I said, same here. Okay, he said, to which I said, triggered. To which he responds, nah, I'm chilled. To which I responded, hardly. Really chilled people don't threaten reporting. You've had no remittance or clients, which is why you're back. That makes me happy that you aren't good enough for this. Okay, says my scammer. To which I responded, yeah, good luck with that profile and that name and photo. You aren't that smart. I feel sorry for your mama, which is going to hopefully enrage him. Okay, mama, said my highly amused scammer. To which I quite pettily responded with, yes, glad you're enjoying yourself. Meanwhile, this profile is on blast on every scam alert website and channel. I mean, it's a ridiculous profile, honestly. I don't know what he thought. Career development. I bet he was running a fake job hustle, and hopefully people are not falling for it anymore. He comes back with, are you bored? You must be. I said, it's early here and you muggles are entertaining in your idiocy. Still typing, he said. Ooh, I've had this one before. Ha ha. To which I responded, what? Are you okay in the head? This one might go on for a bit, I think. To which he responds with, no, you're not. Oh, what a fuckwit. And a thumbs up. I said, did you get dropped on your head as a baby? I bet you did. You bore me, he declares. Which I doubt very much. He's having the time of his life. Did your husband and family leave you? He tries. I said, make better choices with your life and get a real job, little mugu of mine. I feel sorry for you with this attitude. And in response to make better choices with your life, he goes, ha ha, okay, mama. And in response to I feel sorry for you with this attitude, I said, oh, but I have money still. You don't, which you can now see stumped him a little bit. Really? You do? He said. So I wrote, yes, because unlike you, I actually work, not steal. And then I added, how embarrassed must your family be? Yikes. Which is going to trigger him. He's going to play it very cool, obviously. And anyone wondering why it's so choppy, it's because Facebook will remove chats. Did I steal from you? He said. So how am I a thief? And in response to did I steal from you, I said, oh God, no, you aren't good enough. Delusional, he said. So I said, yeah, you muggles are delusional because you only proving my point that you're nuts. I said, who paid for the phone you're using? Because you didn't. And in response to the who paid for your phone, he goes, Mama, I thought you did, laughing emoji. I said, did the hustler get a donation? Still stealing. To which he says, Ode. I don't know what that means. I have to Google. Your fada, ha ha, he says, thinking he won something. So I said, I don't speak pidgin. I'm not from Nigeria. You're the one claiming to be American and aligned with someone famous. Ipso facto, thief. And then in response to your fada, I said, your Nigerian is showing. How did you know that's pidgin? He asks. Ha 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 ha, he adds. To which I just said, everyone does. Then I added, you muggles are all over the news. That's why you have no clients. Watch him actually change what he was going to say. Ha ha, yeah, right, he said. And then he added, Ode. I said, if you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be using such a dumb profile. To which he put in lots of laughing emojis. And I'm the triggered one, ha ha ha, he said. I said, yes, because scamming and stealing is hilarious, shaking my head. Did someone stole from you in the past? 'Cause you're being delusional here, he declares. I said, no one stole from me, but you muggles make it unsafe for everyone, and you all don't care about humans at all. It's awful. You're bored. See how you're replying so fast, says the scammer who's also bored. To which I responded, ditto, muggle. But he needs to Google ditto. Boring life you must be living. You have a job to be at, right? I said, need to Google any big words? Nah, you haven't said any big words to go look at, fool, he said. So I said, oh my God, are you serious? In response to how I must be at work. I said, I don't even have to work. I choose to. To which he goes again, ha ha ha, villain origin story. I swear to God. We've had this guy before. This delusional cackling that he does, this ha 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 ha. It's not normal, guys. Okay, hold, I need to laugh right now, he says. You really are delusional. I said, go on, I'll wait. Still better than your bank account right now, if you even have a dollar one, which I doubt. You don't know my bank account, Ode. Ha ha ha, he said. I went, oh, little dick boy doesn't have money, sad. To which he said, ha ha, I fuck better than your entire ancestors. I said, little muggle begging online for table scraps from others by lying. To which he puts in a laughing emoji. You're delusional, he repeats, because he has nothing else to say. And in response to him effing better than my ancestors, I said, you need to have one to do that, and you don't. Very, very, very small. He's having some trouble formulating a response. We'll get him to lose his temper. To which he just put a laughing emoji because he's struck dumb. We'll let him come back with the next comment. Oh God, the moron still hasn't changed any of the details. I do think this is the guy, though maybe not, because this one has a fair amount of followers, so he may actually be legitimate. So I'm not going to say that, right? I'm not going to blast what could be potentially a legitimate business. But you can tell by who he's following, these these clothing brands, which look quite expensive to be fair, and luxurious. I've definitely had this guy before. I've had him before. I can't believe that Facebook actually took him down almost immediately. But today at 3:29 p.m, guys, it's 8:30 a.m. Oh, unless that's Nigeria time. Let me check. I'm being really stupid this morning, guys. No, it's 11:30 p.m. in Nigeria. I don't know. Maybe it's American times. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Miracles happen. Hello? Just rang to check to see I wasn't a scammer. I'm surprised he can call. He had his account barred. Or his chat barred. So he sent laughing emoji. I said, cluck, cluck, too scared to speak? To which he sent laughing emojis again. I guess Facebook sent that to me and then did nothing? How bizarre. You guys all saw that. To which I added, too scared to show that American accent, huh? Just making sure you're still there. Can't have a mad woman roaming around. I don't know why he sent a ghost emoji. I said, oh, I'm here, but there are much better scammers out there than you to play with. You're tedious. You guys saw that notification from Eric Muller. They took action. It's so weird. Indeed you are. Glad we both agreed on you being mad. And then he sent lots and lots of laughing emojis. I went, huh? You're gibbering like the little village boy you are. Want to try that again, but in common language? Are you drunk? He really wants to chat with me. Ha ha, he adds. Then I added, so definitely no clients for you tonight. Got it. To which he said, okay, city girl. So I responded, yes, I am. In a big house too. To which he said, just chatting with a mad woman, that's all, because he's got no idea. He's lost complete thread. I said, how's your hovel? He's now going to have to Google hovel. So then I added, there are much more interesting scammers to chat with, so good luck making no money and being poor. Bye. Because he didn't understand what the word hovel was and never came back for a response. See, this came today, saying that they took action. Oh, he's mad. Ha ha! Ode, your father, he said. Oh dear. So I wrote, oh dear. So now we know you're 12 years old. Go to bed and stay offline, little boy. You just aren't smart enough. Now I'm going to ignore him for a while because he hates that. Maybe I'll get another call. So he's obviously come back with, Ode, ha 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 ha! As it says the Mugu online, who is so poor he had to beg and lie to make money. Who's the Ode now? Which is just another word for fool. That's all. I Googled it. Ha ha ha, he said. So you do know what it means. I said, I'm not a moron, unlike you. Ha ha ha! Why am I not surprised? You Nigerian. So in response to being called Nigerian, I said, are you racist? Why do you hate your own people? He called me a fool, obviously, so. And in response to being called a fool, I said, just repeating yourself shows limited intellectual capacity. You scamming with a white woman picture, wow, good for you. To which I said, dude, you called me and heard my voice. Are you deluded? And in response to just repeating yourself shows limited intellectual capacity, he said, triggered. And in response to you called me and heard my voice, ha ha, did I upset you? I said, oh, baby Maddie doesn't know basic English, had to Google some words. And in response to, did I upset you? I said, no, because I'm not racist, unlike you. And in response to, ha ha ha, which was because he didn't understand English, I said, knew it. Now I understand and know mad people when I see one. So he goes, now I understand and know mad people, which I said, so let's do it. I said, you're the one typing so fast. Is your heart pumping? Are you all excited? Are you laughing? Good, no remittance for you tonight. Seems we're both not having any client tonight, huh? Ha ha ha. I'm literally giving you letter words here, fool. I have no idea what that meant. Don't you read? I said, wow. And I mean it. I don't think I've ever met someone as stupid as you. I mean that, really. My audience and I are laughing so hard right now. Same here, fool, he said. He again added a ha 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 ha. I said, oh, but your boyfriend doesn't count, little boy. He doesn't quite understand where that's come from. Why are you diverting? Come on, you can do better. So then he goes, you're the smart one, as you claimed. I said, what? What are you babbling about, little boy? Your audience of your boyfriend doesn't count. But still replying, he says, how bored we both are. To which I said, I'm getting paid, so that's okay. You're not. To which he says, ha ha, okay. I said, how are your internet minutes going anyway? Mine's free. And then in response to ha ha ha, okay, I said, yep, want to call and say hi to the chat? Let's see if he gets it. He won't. Mine's unlimited, he said. To which I responded, no, it isn't, you poor baby boy. Now we might ignore him for a little bit, just to get him a bit angry. He's come back with, okay, ha ha ha, forgot I was broke. More laughing emojis. You stop texting. Internet is not so free anymore, he asks. Sends laughing emojis. I said, yes, because there are better scammers to bait and expose. You're already done. You won't get any clients with this profile now. To which he goes, there you are. To which I said, yes, I'm dealing with another Mughal who thinks he can pass for American. A little like you, except smarter. Ha ha ha, you really are bored, he said. Then he continued, don't stop on my account, I'm enjoying this. As I told you, I get paid for you as well. To which he goes, oh, yeah. I said, call and see. I really want him on a call, guys. So I added with chicken, cluck, cluck. I just got another notification saying that they took action on Eric Muller's account, but he's still messaging. So I don't get what kind of action they took. So he goes, now I'm not that bored, sweetie, in reference to me saying call. Let's just chat. I love keeping you company. I said, why would I want to? You're boring. Or making you get paid, he said. I'm happy to help, okay? I said, I already did get paid, boy, unlike you. Hope it's enough, he said. I said, more than enough. In fact, I'm going to give some away. Nah, I don't need the money, he said. To which I responded, I'd never give it to you. I'm good as long as you're getting few bucks for this, he said. I said, you're the last person I'd ever help. It's my way of giving back to the community. Ha ha ha! I don't need your hello because I misspelt help. I'll be the one saying hello, okay, love. What? What absolute nonsense. And so in response to, it's my way of giving back to the community, I said, whose community exactly? You need the money, not me, he said. He added another ha ha ha. I said, with your terrible fake profile and claim to know someone famous. Sure, little boy. This is fun, he declares. So which means I'm going to ignore him now. Who knew texting a mad person would be this fun? But hey, as long as you're getting paid okay, it's fine by me, happy to help. Triggered, he said. Oh, this guy is absolutely just, I can't get him. I can't piss him off. The internet must be bad over there, he said. So I responded with, over where? You tell me, Mr. American. Or you just making me miss you, he said, thinking he's going to do that. Good luck. Or you just making me miss you. I said, sweetie, I wouldn't touch you with someone else's hand, let alone my own. And in response to over where, you tell me, Mr. American, he goes, didn't say I was in America. Hello, can't you read? To which I responded, vomit. Ha ha, why not? He said when I said I wouldn't touch him. I said, you're in Nigeria who's about 13 years old. You're the crazy one here, and I would hold hands with you, he said. I said, I don't like liars and scammers. But haha, I like mad woman, he said. I said, have fun talking to yourself. I'm actually really bored. You have no riz, no skills, nothing to say, yawn. To which he says, they are fun, you are fun. And we're going to leave him there for now because this has gone on to 20 minutes. So I probably, unless he gets taken down, I may end up doing a part 2. So there you go. Sorry, I've got to actually do some work now. People are messaging me. So yeah, I couldn't get this guy. He was just in a really good mood. So there we go. He will be back. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I don't know. He's super arrogant. Let me know when you need more money. Ha! Yeah, good one. Love that. So I added and he jumped on it straight away. I said, say hello to Discord and goodbye to this profile. Enjoy being poor and begging online for people to chat with you. So thirsty, aren't you? Bye, Mr. Mugu. So there we go. We're going to leave him to talk to himself. Feel free to go and spam good old Eric Muller, who has now had 2 separate reports made of him. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Love you guys. Bye.